Hi, this is Lauren,
And Chris.
and this is our video for the Medley Mayhem team contest.
Each team consisted of 5 people.
Each person on the team only does 2 events, and the scores are added up as a team.
This was my first event of the day. The way this was set up was I had to do each implement once before repeating. Because I had such difficulty with the keg, I put the keg first in the rotation, and because the dumbbell was the easiest, I ended up putting it last. And as you can see here, it was a pretty fast transition into my second rep with the dumbbell. In training, I knew this second repetition on the keg was going to be tough, so I made sure I took my time. As you can see here, it was a pretty good grinder on that. And pretty much after the first round, it was all about taking my time, making sure that I was going to hit the reps. Don't want to miss any reps here. So really just making sure I took my time to set up. And after this last axle clean and press, time was actually coming down. I think we had 15 seconds left. And after attempting this last axle clean and press, this brought my total rep count to 10, which I believe was the best among everybody this day.
My first event of the day was the max distance frame carry with ascending weight. So the way this worked was there was a 30-foot distance, and we had to carry the frame. You just had to barely cross the line. So each time you crossed the line, they added weight. The first 2 jumps were 50 pounds, and then additional jumps were 20 pounds. I had just competed at Strongman Corporation Nationals 2 weeks before this, so I really didn't specifically train for this contest, but at Nationals there was a frame carry event, so I was pretty conditioned for this type of movement. And also, because I had to cut weight for Nationals, I certainly didn't want to cut weight again, so close. So I actually competed as a middleweight in this contest, so because I weighed in at about 148. But this was really just for fun to, lift weights with friends, so I was fine with that. So here I am. I made it up to 420. This is the last run that I made at the entire 30-foot distance. So it's pretty cool because the next jump, which is 440, basically matches the best I've ever done. That's pretty much the weight I had to do at Nationals. I didn't make it the 30-foot distance. I think I just kind of lost my upright posture and just kind of fell forward. But this event was a ton of fun.
This was my second event of the day. It was a Keg Medley, ascending weight, starting at 125 pounds. I had a load to a 50-inch crossbar. We could arrange the kegs any which way we would like. The way they were originally setting up, they would put 2 kegs side by side, but because I practiced leaning the kegs to the left, it actually was going to get in the way. So I spaced it out, and I almost forgot which keg I needed to grab, and Eric was extremely helpful in yelling at me and pointing at me as to which keg I need to pick up. In training, I only trade up to 240-pound keg as the heaviest keg I had. So this last keg here was a personal record, personal best, 275-pound keg.
Okay, the last event of the day was a 10-stone series to a platform. I think this platform was about 48 or 50 inches. Of course, the weights were ascending. So I got through those first 5 stones pretty quickly. I did a 1 motion with the first 3, and then we had a 90 seconds to complete this event, so I kind of took my time getting over to the heavier stones. Yeah, I was really pleased with how these were moving. Even this first 185 came up pretty good, and then the second stone, as you can see right here, it's another 185. This one was just kind of oddly misshapen. It wasn't completely round. And so you can see what happens when I go to do my first load. It kind of just like slips out of my arms a little bit. Yeah, and that losing that contact was enough to cause me to drop it. You know, I've done a lot of Atlas Stones in my strongman career, so I'm pretty comfortable with them. I love them. Um, would have loved to, you know, I had the strength to get this up even on this day when I was kind of tired. Um, but you know, it just slipping out of my arms, and then here it was really sitting on my diaphragm, and that was quite painful. So I didn't make that that second stone up.
And this was my team: Motley Crue, Justin, Trisha, Brian, and Brian.
And here's my team of Iron Maidens: Amanda, then there's me, Kristen, Amy, and Melissa.
My team, Motley Crue, finished 6th place. We finished 4th place in the press and the keg.
The Iron Maidens finished in 8th place. We got 4th place in the frame and 3rd place in the stone.